Alright, so the car's down, hole in the fuel cell. It's whatever. I got another fuel cell on the way, but I'm gonna go through here and try to clean up some of this wiring and get rid of a bunch of it and move some stuff. Clean it out. Maybe if I'm feeling up to it, I might even cut some stuff off. Oh, then what in the world is this? Where does this go? Where does this go to? Do I really need this? I don't think it works, but I'll leave it. Be gone. See, look, weight reduction. Now, I've already cut a bunch of like the little crash sensors and stuff because this thing has no airbags, no airbag module, no ABS, no ABS sensors. It's got the bare minimum for what you need to have a big sub and horsepower. Okay. I mean, it's got lights too. And my key fob still works. So, I'm gonna start stripping some of this wiring. And if I feel like it's junk, it's probably gonna go bye-bye. Let me find a stand or something, and I will get to cutting, I guess. Okay. I'll keep watch radar, but they come in handy. See, I read it. However this goes. What are these? I would really like to know what you go to. Because if I'm not mistaken, the wiring for the lights go that way. I'm gonna go pop the trunk real quick. Let's go. Oh. All right. Let's see, that wiring goes from this side, right, on up to the speakers. I don't even know what this is. But it could probably get going, right? My speakers, my lights, which means the wiring that went this way, just kind of okay. All right, real funny guy. So there used to be a module over here behind my water tank. Okay. Means your junk. Rip all that out. Don't ask me what that module went to. I have no idea. Which kind of makes this easier. It kind of doesn't. So although yes, I can rip all them wires out, I still need this one to tell my stupid lights when to stop being the light, I guess. And this wire, which sadly is routed up somewhere. Oh, that sucks. Kind of cool, kind of sucks. Well, guess I'm gonna get the rest of the junk out of the back seat and we'll start there. All right, so I got some of this out of the way. I didn't really want to mess with it too much. Apparently, I missed a crash sensor. I did not know that was there. So, alright, so now here's where we get just a smidge tricky. Just a smidge. So, these right here are the wires that go to the fuel pump. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right up underneath you is where they have been lengthened. So I did this at one of them spur of the moment kind of ordeals, just to make sure my wires weren't bad or getting crushed. I'm gonna redo it too. Jesus, Marcus, take it. Alright, those 4. So those go to the fuel pump. I do believe these ones right here, yeah, they were just kind of rinky-dink extended just to make sure it was going to work. Spoiler, it didn't work. Bit irritated about that, but it is what it is, and it tain't what it tain't. Yeah, them wires right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These wires can get gone. Don't cut yourself. What's the saying? Cut towards your buddy so you don't get bloody. Come on. Those right there are the only wires I need, which means that all this rat's nest here is not needed. Okay, why we put this stuff in here? Okay, sure, it's for ABS and EVAP and safety. I don't need safety. See, this loom and that loom, they Y together. There's one big harness and they go that way. That being said, what you have the port. Now I have no idea what that is. I'm scared. Should I leave it alone? Probably. Yeah, there you. Where do you go? 251. Don't see what's there. Is it? Goes there. Oh, yeah. The ground's there. You go there. You go there. You go there. Round back over there. I'm assuming this one's here. For the white. Oh, there's a hand. All nice and neat. Get rid of the give them. Take them. I'll take them for days. Oh, trusty electrical tech. Just get all the way down. Can you get the there? Just have to put it. So, what was it? What should I say? Okay, so my bolts in the back were 15s because I had to get longer ones because I had to space this up off the ground some. But stock they're 14s. Now I can move the seat because it's an aftermarket seat. It's actually an extremely junk aftermarket seat, but they've been here for a while and I need new ones. So finish pulling the seat out. Just want to let y'all know that them are stock 14s, just in case y'all were curious. So I'm sure you already knew, and I don't think anybody else is really going this far, but I am. So here we are. Turn you up a little bit. Teeth here goes to a ground, then it goes up to this loom, which I'm assuming goes over to the fuse box underneath the dash, which is all. Okay, so now I have them split. This set of looms, which went to the back, go this way, and then the rest of it goes that way. So now I'm going to continue to follow it, which I'm assuming is going to go up to them plugs up there. And I think after I get to those plugs, I'm probably going to take the center console out. Loom it up yet. That way if I get up there and it's cut on the other end, I can still pull the wire all the way out, trace it back before it gets too serious. Because I don't want to, you know, loom all of this and then have to take it back off because the wire was cut up here. So that being said, I'm gonna trace these wires and get them out of there too, because I don't know. Okay, that wire goes to that rear door.
So that wire goes to that, and pull these wires out, whatever wires those are, because they're cut too. And I'm going to meet them right here in the middle. But I'm not going to record that. I'm going to just go ahead and do it and then give you an update, because my camera's about to die. Alright, so I cut this back some more and pulled them out. Pulled those out. Those go to there, which this one goes up in here to this back door, which I'm pretty sure it's just the stuff for that and the lock. That's for the door light. These right here should all be for the rear lights, so I don't know what these wires that go across are. But I got all these wires pulled up to there. Need to get up there and actually see where they go. See if I can't get them out of them plugs, because I think that's where they go. They just go to those plugs, cut or deep in them, cut them, whatever, get them out of the way. And then I need to get the center console out so I can pull the carpet up some more to get to the wires, because they go up underneath there. Alright, so I got the center console out. Don't mind all the dirt, it's my daily. I'm going to take this wire out because it doesn't work for some reason, so I figured I'm going to just trash it. It goes to that switch and the plug-in in there. It don't work anyway, so I figured get it going. These wires are the ones right there. And then that loom goes from here up to this, which then splits over there. So I still need these because these are for this. And then we're gonna get up. That's a whole rat's nest up there. We're not there yet. I'm focused about right back here. So let's trash out of the way. Let's get on this. All right, so got it all spliced back over here, going to this door. So this is the wire that goes to this door. It's the wire for the door sensor on the front. That's these wires. There's another ground underneath there. So it's your ground there. Only 2 of them there matter. But 3 of them here. All those go towards the rear of the vehicle. Oh, I found a straggler. There was, well, if it stay up there, there's all them wires that ran from back here up and over. Some of them I've already had cut out. I just never finished actually pulling them out. So I pulled the rest of them out. There was some of them that led over here that was in this loom, all the way over here, that were cut, which is those 3, and then there's whatever's going out of the bottom of the door there, because the rest of them are going out of the top. Well, they're like there, but alright, they're just kicked out of the way. Which actually I need to do with these before I get extra confused. Out the door. So those going out the door, getting bye-bye. The rest of these I'm pretty sure are all connected still, which I will end up going back through, but they go up there somewhere. Now then, the real issue is, after I lay this back down, I've already kind of done like an engine bay tuck on this car. So back off behind here, there is bukus of wire. I'm not sure how much of it I'll be able to slim down, but I want to at least get it nice and tidy through here. And just to give you a sneak peek, we're not going to talk about it. So like, there's that wire set. I don't know if you can see it right there. It's cut. So all of it needs to come out. I would like to rewire some of this, because some of this is my jank stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I've rewired a lot of this stuff like 1,000 times, but alright, whatever. It ain't hard nothing. So I need to figure out where all this crap goes that I'm pulling out. pull it out, and if I find any other wires that are up here that are cut that lead back, I need to pull them out too. All right, so I chased a bunch of the wires up to this plug-in, which plugs in right there on the fuse block. But my issue is there's some wires that are cut out through here. I can't get to them because the dash is in the way. But what I'm going to do is pull the dash. And so from what I've read, and I'll try to put it in this video, is you pretty much unplug those, unplug that, unbolt that, 3 bolts there, 2 bolts there, and 3 bolts over there. There's also, I think, 2 plugins over there, and there's some plugins down here for like the airbag and some of the other stuff, which I don't have any of. Alright, so there's 3 bolts here. They're behind some little plastic caps. You just pop them off. There's 3 bolts. So up under here, there's 2 10mm. So there's these 2 10mm. There's I believe this is a 12 here for the brake pedal. Now on stock manuals, I don't know what it'll be in here because I have this bracket that's built. I made that bracket in like 30 minutes. I was late to a family dinner and my pedal was all floppy because this is actually an automatic car, but I put a manual in it. Or did a manual swap, whatever. So I actually have, there's a 10 here and a 10 there for this bracket I made, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a 12 you can pop out over there. So those are them. So 2 bolts here, and then it goes down to a bolt here for this bracket. It goes right off in there. Seats. And there's 2 bolts here, but I don't know if you can see in there. See those threaded pieces right there, and there's one there. They're threaded, so when you take these bolts out, they should thread back in. Thread back in. I think they're left-handed threads. So you take these bolts out, turn them left to loosen them. They'll get to a certain point, and then they'll thread those back in. So when you go to tighten them in, they'll pull out. If they don't pull out, stick your wrench in there and snuggle them up against this, because it's an adjuster, keeps it from rattling. But other than that and a billion plugins, that's all that holds that dash in. So if I'm not mistaken, the pillars have to come off, and then 2 bolts, 3 bolts, 3 bolts. Figure all my wiring junk out, which I might have to rewire some things, which is fine. And then the dash comes out. So alright, so I got all the wires stripped out that I wanted to strip out. I started aluminum some of it, got it stuck back in place, that way I can know where it goes. I got these plugins right here plugged back in, because these are going to stay over there. But how I had the ECU up there in the dash area, I'm put it back in the engine bay in a different location from the stock, but put it back in there. So I have to extend some wires for this plug-in. And where's the other plug-in? For that plug-in, this plug-in, and this plug-in. So 3 plug-ins that I have to extend some wires for, stick them back out there, because those go to the engine harness. Lame, but it got to be done, I guess. So that's going to be happening with those. Back here you can see I got some of them taped back up, put back in place. There's only that one wire, so I didn't even bother putting a loom on it or anything. It's one wire. Same thing for those wires run through there, and they connect, and they come up to here to here. So I got to finish doing these wires. I was honestly thinking about just tossing them back this way, finishing these up, getting the dash put back in, and then looming those, because I don't want to loom them. I know they went in this area, I just don't remember exactly where they went without getting the fuse box back in place. So, and of course this used to be an automatic car. Manual swapped it. So don't judge my bracket, okay? I didn't pull it out of the other car when I had the other car. I didn't even think about it. So stop judging. It works. Yo. See where I'm going to start today. Got these wires done. I think I'm gonna leave the back section out because there's some wires that I want to move around some, and I also want to put this red wire right here. It turns my sub on. This sub's not going anywhere, so I think I'm gonna run it with the harness itself all the way up, but I don't know if I'm gonna run it up over that way and in, or if I'm gonna run it through there and then just go up and over. So I haven't decided that out yet. Also haven't quite decided as to what I'm gonna do with the big wires. I don't quite remember what they went to. Pretty sure it's like starter, alternator, and then battery itself, something of that sort. So I know these two for sure went to the fuse box, but I'm pretty sure this one's like starter, alternator, and this one actually comes from the battery itself. Don't quote me on that. They'll be moved as well. Something's gonna have to happen with them, so I can hook this back up, and I'm gonna have to find me another door to stick in, or I might just go get me another section here since they're pretty easy to swap out. Because I think when I did this, I did it all in like one night, and I didn't sleep, so I did not make very smart decisions. Another thing, see the part of the headliners down. I have a sunroof, but I have this gauge pod right here that covers up the buttons for it. So I pulled the wires from it and I extended them, and I'm gonna stick them off in the little cubby that goes here. So I'm gonna run them wires with this harness and off over to here, because it'll be in this section. So I'm gonna just run the wires over here, and then I'll figure out how I'm gonna mount it up later. It's not going in this, it's gonna be like up here above it, because you know this goes here, so it'll be up in there, if that makes any sense, in the dash. And I think I'm also run the wires for the fuse box along here too, and I'm just leave them off here and then do something, you know, management. Or I might just loom all that up, have the wires that go out into the engine bay, get all them finished up, and I'll leave the wires down there in the floorboard, put the dash back in, and then I'll run them through the dash again, and then shorten and lengthen as I need. So with that, just a bit of an update before I go in. I ran out of pink butt connectors, but I'll go around to the other side and show you. So I have this wire over here labeled for the brake switch, and there's a reason for that. That is because I have a vacuum pump mounted back there, if you can see it. It's that piece right there. So I'm going to try to take it off the manifold, wire that up to a switch, well, wire it up, that way a relay kicks on every time I hit the brakes, pulling vacuum straight on my booster. So I don't want to get rid of power brakes, but I don't think that it should be seeing 25 pounds of boost. Oh, somebody's getting pulled over. But my ECU is mounted there. Back out behind these water hoses, I'm mounted better, but that's where it's going to be. So I got the wires all tucked up. These are all my battery cables. I need to shorten them up. Somebody is cooked. So I had some wires I had to lengthen out, going from there to outside, just because they plug in for the stuff that goes to the engine harness. And on this one right here, there is a couple wires in there. I think it's like these that I have to lengthen out so I can plug that into the ECU that's out there. So this right here, that's good. That's good. It's good all the way up to there. All these wires right here are going to go over there, and I gotta finish, you know, cleaning that junk up and routing them and lengthening some of them for that. So with that being said, we'll go work on the dash. And these wires I'm also going to run with those wires right there, so I can put that switch in the middle like I was saying. But it's about 11 o'clock, my phone's dead, and I'm out of butt connectors. So there's actually leaving it right here for length reasons, but a lot of these, I think like 4 or 5 of these wires that go to this connector I had to lengthen out, so I will have to pull them through, splice them, connect them there, and then I can loom it, tape it up. And then same thing for this last one here. These wires, if I'm being honest, if I really wanted to, I can go through here, skin this entire harness and slim it up, and then route it real nice and neat. The way it drops under there and goes back and then straight there. That's a problem for another day. That'll work. It looks a smidge better than it used to, because it used to go up like straight through here and back. They were all shoved in there, so if I ever had to pull the motor for something, it was going to be a bad day. And I had like 1,000 wires that were way too long, running into a couple sensors. So I shortened them back up, got it all settled. I just got to do something about battery cables, since my battery's in the back. That's my cable, it connects there. So I will take that off, and I'll figure out how to splice these 3, probably back off in there too. Don't know how I'm going to do that one yet, but it shall get done. And here's actually a stock battery cable I pulled off of another harness I have. So I'm going to take this with me tomorrow and see about getting some more of this, which sounds completely stupid, but the fuse box that's going to go right here still has to have battery voltage. So I'm going to just hook those, because it goes to the starter and alternator, and I'm going to just run a battery from, well, run a cable from the battery along with this harness, and it's going to come this way. And I haven't decided if I'm going to drill a hole through this and stick some grommets, or I would probably just slide on through there. Yeah, there's a little hole there, so I'll just loom it, run it straight through there. It's going to come up and go to the fuse box. But oh crap, I need some tape. Some tape, because I'm gonna go finish putting the dash back together. Alright, I got our wires all bundled up. Those wires are ran through there, zip tied up. Those wires right there, I gotta finish shortening them. Same thing with the wires that go to the outside. All these wires are ran that way. I gotta finish these wires up too, but I'm at the point now where I kind of need the dash to go back in. So we'll actually grab this. So I really didn't touch a whole lot of this, but there were some wires out of here that I cut off. Some wires went to there, some of them, some of these, and you know, so on and so forth and whatnot. So this is going to go back in. I'll show you where all the bolts are on it. So I guess let's do that. Alright, so there's 3 bolts here. They're behind some little plastic caps. You just pop them off. There's 3 bolts. So up under here, there's 2 10 millimeters. Oh. So there's these 2 10 millimeters. There's a, I believe this is a 12 here for the brake pedal. Now on stock manuals, I don't know what it'll be in here because I have this bracket that's built. I made that bracket in like 30 minutes. I was late to a family dinner and my pedal was all floppy because this is actually an automatic car, but I put a manual in it. Or did a manual swap, manual, whatever. So I actually have, there's a 10 here and a 10 there for this bracket I made, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a 12 you can pop out over there. So those are them. There's 2 bolts here. 2 bolts here, and then it goes down to a bolt here for this bracket. It goes right off in there. So I'm gonna cut that off. And then I'll go to the other side to show you. If I can get up. Those threaded pieces right there. And there's one there. They're threaded, so when you take these bolts out, they should thread back in. Thread back in. Because I think they're left-handed threads. So you take these bolts out, turn them left to loosen them. They'll get to a certain point, and then they'll thread those back in. So when you go to tighten them in, they'll pull out. If they don't pull out, stick your wrench in there and snug them up against this because it's an adjuster, keeps it from rattling. But other than that and a billion plugins, that's all that holds that dash in. So I haven't done much with the engine bay. I got my wires ran, but I got to shorten a bunch of them up. It sounds like a problem for tomorrow. Alright, so I ran the wires. You see it in there, sitting in there, from up there to down here. I think I got them mounted pretty good in there. So you just reach over and open the sunroof. I don't think I've done something better in my life. Still stack stuff in here and open it. Miat. Alright, so I got my wire ran up and through there and on up. You can see it right here. It's a wire, 4-gauge wire. This stuff's pretty expensive. But it runs down, across, over, underneath there. Yeah, I guess I get a little bit closer. Underneath there and on up, and then you can see it hanging out right about there. Now I'm put the carpet back in and start the reassembly. Oh. Alright, so pretty much got all the dash back in the center console. Obviously I don't have the rest of the paneling in. At this point, this isn't even a video. This is how many nights can I work on my car before it actually runs again. But fuse boxes here. This is the wire. See, I got a little jumper going to both terminals. I don't know if they're connected. They probably are, but just to be safe, got a little jumper on them both. I need to put an end on that. I need to put an end right back there. Got a couple zip ties things out the way. But I got all the wires back there. Don't mind the mess. I still got to clean them up. That's why I got zip ties. So I'm gonna zip tie them up out of the way. I got the wires for that vacuum pump spliced in. And I got the ground for it. Don't buy those seats. I'm pretty sure I've said that before, but don't do that. Yeah, it's in. All my toggle switches have been rewired. The gauge wires are ran nicer. So I don't know what this is, like day 5,643. It's all back together, minus the trim paneling and this, because I'm trying to do stuff up here. Don't worry about that. Sunroof, since obviously my switches aren't here, and even when they were, this covers it up. and it goes just like that. So they are moved down here. Out of sight, out of mind. Other than that, pretty good. I like it. Lights. That. And this one's for my sub and my water pump in the back.
Which I don't have any of it back here yet. And I still need to clean up some of that wiring mess.
So, with all that being said, it is time to go night-night, being it is at 1 o'clock in the morning.